Hi guys, and welcome to episode 4 of Charlie and Kirsty Talk Women's Football, where the mighty Arsenal have beaten Manchester City 4-3. And we were there, we were at the Joy Stadium.
Mhm.
What a game. And to make it even better, at the point of this recording, Martin Odegaard has just scored against City as well. Get in, what a day so far.
Well, I guess one of your teams had to win this weekend, didn't it? It wasn't your actual team. So, yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. It is, but it is what it is. It was a close game.
What a game.
It was very catty. It was very end to end. There were a couple of decisions which were
A lot of
made.
decisions that were weird.
By Foster, obviously, we were given a pen. It wasn't actually a pen when we've watched it back. And Beth Mead's goal was offside, but it wasn't actually offside. But on that actual note, somebody please go and educate the Arsenal women's players on the offside rule. There were 10 offsides in that game.
Every
And
run was
literally
offside.
like offside, offside, offside. And we were like, how do you not know the offside rule as a professional footballer?
It was literally Stina and Beth Mead were offside
Beth Mead was
all of the
awful.
time. All of the time, we were offside. Every through ball made, it was offside straight away.
It was so bad.
But yeah, 4-3 in the end. Arsenal go 2-0 up in 8 minutes. Unreal. I was in the city and annoying a lot of City fans.
Do you know what the best thing was though? Like we've got to know everybody around us in our season ticket seats, and there was a woman next to us, and she realised that he was wearing an Arsenal shirt, and she was like, "You're an Arsenal fan." She was like, "I've sat next to you all this time, and you're an Arsenal fan," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Yep." I said, "But he's a blue in disguise." So
I got a lot of
Yeah, you
stats from
did.
City fans
he did.
because there's one clip where I'm like, I'm proper going
Yeah, if
for
you've
it.
not seen the clip, head over
Hey.
to our TikTok. It is on there, but yeah, it was a bit of a mad one. It's a bit sad, but
In
we're gonna
terms of
move on.
the game, I don't think there was anything tactical wise. It was like you said, it end to end. It was catty. There was no one really took hold of the game. Like
No.
no one got the ball down for more than 2 minutes and really kept it. Like it was just so end to end. It was like because Arsenal went up so quick. City didn't really have the chance to get hold of the game, did
No,
they?
they
Like
didn't.
Arsenal just kept going at them, and
And even Bunny didn't manage anything.
yeah, like
It
and
was a fair game all round.
even before that, like Yui couldn't get control of the game. Like to me, I think two things stood out. I think Kyra Cooney Cross was outstanding for me. I think she was unreal, and even better than her, I think Mariona
Kyra was good.
Caldente was fantastic. Like she ran the game. Like both of them in midfield ran the show for me today, and I think the midfield just the game was won in midfield, and obviously we hear this quite a lot in football that the games are won in midfield, and I just think it was today with Arsenal City. Yui couldn't get a hold of the game, and she normally
She
does.
did manage quite well though to say it.
She
Like
done
the
well.
wins she
She
was
did do
marking were
well.
massive in comparison to her, so I feel like
Yeah.
she did do quite well. But it's a tough one, isn't it? And we were talking about it on the way home, and we'd said if we'd have had Lauren Hemp, if we'd have had Alex Greenwood in that middle defence with what's her name, Rebecca Nack, then we'd have been okay. I
Mm.
feel like we were missing a Lauren Hemp, and Bunny did come on, but I think the game was already gone by the time her and Carolyn came on, so it was quite hard to kind of bring it back. But hopefully, that's
Yeah,
just a
it was
bit of it.
tough. It was tough. I think that right side, Alexandri and Kasparov, they really struggled, didn't they? And weirdly, like with Russo playing on the left wing, like she's caused Kasparov so many problems.
Yeah,
And I
Kirsty's
just
not good
don't
today.
I don't really get it. Like Russo's not the quickest. She's really strong and she's really good at turning. But
Yeah.
like you wouldn't think that someone like Russo would cause that side so many problems. Like Kirsten, I think she got a really low rating.
Yeah,
She had a really low
She got
match
like
rating.
5.4 or
I
something.
think so, yeah. I think you might be right. And Alexandri was at fault for the first goal, but also at fault
Yeah.
for a lot of the play. Like City just kept giving the ball away. But then Arsenal kept giving the ball away in when City got their goals. So yeah, like I said, I just don't think anyone really got a hold of it.
I think it should have been a draw. I do genuinely think
Yeah,
like it should have been a draw. Arsenal shouldn't have won. I don't think they deserve to win. And that's not me coming as a bitter City fan either. Like I genuinely don't believe that they should have won. I think it should have been a very, very equal game. And because it was, if you look at the stats and stuff, it did seem like a very equal game. So the fact that you guys managed to get a goal pretty close to the end was just
I don't know.
brilliant.
I do think we deserved it, but I think when you look at the City Villa game and you see that first the first Villa goal, sorry, That's exactly what Arsenal did every time. As
Mm.
soon as you committed too many players forward, Arsenal just played straight through the gap. And I think that's why Kirsten struggled. And I think that's why Alexandri and Uwabi and all these players struggle because every time Arsenal won the ball, they were just direct. They went straight through to midfield to Caldente or
Yeah.
Kyra, and then it just went straight out wide. And then we just built round the back of your defence and played it through. And
Mm.
like even in the offsides, like when it was offside, you could see what we
Which
were
one?
doing.
There were that many. Which
The
one?
9 of them. Like
Ridiculous.
when
Ridiculous.
when they got the ball, when Caldente gets the ball, she instantly looks to just switch it straight to Beth, and Beth was offside a few times, but you
Yeah.
could see as soon as they got it, they would go round the back of your defenders and try and play it across the box to score, and it was
Mm.
just simple every time. And because City committed so many players forward, and the fullbacks get really high up, it was just too easy for Arsenal to just win the
Yeah,
ball
it was.
from a mistake and just go midfield bang and just go like that. But I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was a
Yeah, I did
really good game.
actually.
Like, it was one of them games where you can tell both teams need it. So they
Yeah.
kind of just chucked out their normal kind of tactics. And Arsenal didn't even try and, like, dominate the ball. We didn't bother. Like,
No.
I don't know what the possession was
Gareth needs to get
in
better
general,
subs.
but I think we didn't bother, like, getting hold of the ball and really slowing it down. We just kept going for the wings and just
Yeah.
kept playing them. And then the same with City. Fujino was just class on that
Virginia
side.
was on
She was
it
unreal.
today. Like,
She
she
played
was
just like
so
hemp.
good. She played really well. And do you know what? Credit to Rebecca as well, because she didn't come out of position at all, I don't think. And she was one of the
No.
first defenders constantly back there. And if City had won and we'd have been in a position to pick a player of the match, I would have even given it to either Fujino or to
Yeah.
Rebecca. But there was people might not agree with this, but I personally think there was a massive improvement with Kiara as well. Those two goals, there was nothing she could have done. Whereas our first goal that went in, DVD literally was looking at it and just let it go over
Yeah,
her.
she
She
just
didn't
watches
even
it like
make an
that.
attempt to save it. It was like something out of a cartoon.
Yeah,
So
genuinely. The ball's up in the air, she just
it was,
watches it go
yeah.
like that. Whereas like the Kiara one, she comes to claim it. She comes out, she claims the ball, she doesn't get it. Ruben Moy gets there first in the second goal. Like, is
It
what it
is,
is. First one was tough. Like, it's a good
yeah.
finish, but
It's a difficult situation as a City fan because obviously we've given you guys Chloe Kelly
and 3 points.
and 3 points this weekend.
Sorry.
And like, I think that moves on quite well to the next point I've got on the list is Chloe Kelly's statement. Now, obviously, Chloe midweek had put a statement out basically saying that she was unhappy, she'd fallen out of love with football. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Twitter and I think we retweeted it as well. But she'd basically said how unhappy she was, and we were like, oh well, she's going to sign for United, whatever. And then it came out that obviously she'd rejected Brighton, she'd rejected Man U, or we'd rejected Man United as a club. And then she ends up at Arsenal. And then she comes today, she's got some guts. She came to Arsenal today, to the Arsenal game today, sorry, in full Arsenal tracksuit and was celebrating when Arsenal scored. She even walked past Gareth Taylor and just ignored him, which shows that there are deeper issues at the moment at the club than what we're maybe seeing on the outside world. And I
Yeah,
think
of
her
course.
statement massively came as a shock to everybody, not even just us City fans. Like, it was a massive shock to everybody. Um, but hopefully you guys can make her happy, which we obviously weren't able to do in the end.
If you look at what Renee is doing with Beth Mead and what she's doing with
Mm.
Russo and Stina and Frida, like she's giving the players the freedom. She's putting them in a role, but the role allows them to be free. Like with Russo today, yeah, she's playing on the left, but she spins players. She cuts in. She
Yeah.
inverts. Like she's she's having the freedom. And the same with Beth. In the second half, towards the last 20 minutes, Beth is playing centre mid basically because she inverted so much, and Emily Fox was just running on so much that it allowed Beth to basically just glide in and just go wherever she wanted. So
Chloe
this
needs
the
that.
way that we play at the minute just gives players so much freedom. So I just think under Rene, Chloe's gonna have such a good time. And I put out a video, but the one person I feel bad for in this whole thing is Jonas. Like Jonas Eidevall wanted a winger. He
Yeah, and
wanted
now
an out and out
Chloe's
winger.
come.
He wanted a direct winger. He wanted someone like Chloe Kelly.
Yeah.
And
And now she's
she
here.
she she
You've
wasn't
got her.
she wasn't available at that time. Like she wasn't available, but like that's exactly what he wanted, that kind of
Yeah.
profile player. And I just find it really funny that when at the time he was there, the club was so wanting Kira Walsh. Now they've got Renee. You can,
Kira's at Chelsea.
but you can also see why we didn't go for Kira, because Kyra is doing that role for
Kyra was
us.
amazing
Kyra
today.
Cooney
She
Cross
really was.
played that position way better than I think Kira Walsh would have at the minute. Like Kyra was unreal. She was turning
Yes, she
3
was.
players at once, and
She was very good
she
at
was
it. It was
linking
really
play up.
frustrating.
She's linking play up, and she's winning the ball.
Yeah.
Like, she's doing everything you want her to do, and she then passes it on to Caldente, who just drives up the pitch. Like, that's why we didn't go for Kira. And then you now look at the addition of Chloe Kelly and, you know, Caitlin Ford out at a minute.
Yeah,
Hey,
hoping.
you never know what we could do.
I'm hoping Chloe will come to you guys and she will shine and she'll find that love in football again, because as a City fan who we were seeing those players week in, week out, obviously she hadn't been at the past 2 games due to injury. But I think the way the media team portray those relationships between staff members,
Yeah.
I think we've got to be so conscious, especially us as content creators, to understand that whatever's going out on media isn't always the situation. Because I was
100%.
talking to like some of the people we know through Man City, and we were saying about how if you look back at the footage from the warm winter camp, her and Gareth were seen hugging each other and like they had a really strong relationship, and obviously that turns out that that isn't the case, and it can sometimes be just how the media team want us to perceive something, and that's not actually the case.
Yeah.
But good luck to her. I do feel bad for her. She didn't get the thank you and good luck that Lani and Sandy got. On social media, they literally just put Chloe Kelly is on the Arsenal at the end of the season, and I do feel sorry for her. I do. She's been with us for quite a few years, and now that journey's over, she's not happy. She wants to move on, and she's kind of been shone in a bright light. So hopefully, you guys can give her that shine back, and
I hope so.
she'll be in a position to be selected for the Euros. And I mean, Serena was there today, but I don't know at this point what's going to happen. But moving on to transfers. So, we are going to get on to the biggest shocks in transfer window for us personally.
This whole transfer window was mental.
Well, yeah, it was. And I mean, if you look at the past week, you've got Laura Wiemerther, who has come to us at City from Arsenal, which apparently isn't linked with Chloe Kelly, which is fine. It'll be good to see what Laura's like on loan. You've obviously got a new player. Do you want to discuss her?
Yeah, so it's Jen, isn't it? She's a left back. I thought she was going to come on today because
yeah, she was warming up, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was warming up a lot, and Catley played really well, in my opinion, even though her match rating was really low. But she was kind of playing really dangerous balls back to either DVD or Leah. Like, she was playing some really bad passes that were putting us under pressure.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe Renee's gonna give Jen a go, but then obviously we don't know what Jen's like. I've not seen her really on the ball, so I don't really know what she's like. All I know is that she looks a little bit like Laura Coombs.
Yeah, that was what you said.
Really
the
weird.
first thing you said, he was like, why is Coombsy in an Arsenal kit? And I was like, I'm not sure.
Really weird, because, yeah, she looks just like Laura Coombs when I remember Laura Coombs playing for Arsenal.
And then you've obviously got Kira Walsh to Chelsea, which nobody was expecting. Not happy with that one. There should be an FFP in the women's game, but let's move on from that because I've already had people moan at me this week on TikTok. Shannon Cook has gone from West Ham to Birmingham, which I thought was a bit of
Has she not played for Birmingham before?
I'm not sure, if I'm completely honest.
I'm not
sure.
I feel like she has. I don't know if that's wrong, but I just feel like she always goes from Birmingham to West Ham or West Ham to Birmingham.
Yeah, and then another one that was quite a big shock from San Diego Wave was Emily Van Egmond, who plays for, if anybody doesn't know, she plays for the Matildas. She was at San Diego Wave, and she's now moved to England to play at Birmingham.
Birmingham are doing well though, aren't they?
Yeah, Birmingham
they're on the cusp of going up, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
There's a couple of people trying to go up.
The reason she's on my radar this week for transfer talk was because she'd put a video, her wife had put a video up on TikTok and basically said that their honeymoon was cut short because they had to pack everything up in America to move to England. But imagine going from the weather in San Diego to Birmingham. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's a football opportunity, it's a football opportunity. And then last one, which we think is the biggest shock this week, is who? Who has just moved to Everton?
Yeah, Mjelda's gone, hasn't she?
I thought she was going to go to Brighton. I genuinely thought she would go to Brighton with Frank Kirby, but
I saw that she was rumoured. I knew that she was rumoured to go to Everton, But then I kind of just thought, yeah, that's not going to happen. But then it just, like, when we talked about it outside the stadium, it just makes sense. Everton have had so many ACLs. They've got so many problems at the minute with injuries, even though they did just win 4-1. Like, they've got a real problem at the minute with injuries. So, yeah, it does make sense. A bit of experience to go in there, especially if they're starting to play younger players. Someone like Mielda is going to be really good for them.
Who would you say then? Transfer window's obviously shut now. When we're
Yeah.
filming this is the 2nd of February.
Yeah.
Who is your biggest shock personally? If you had to pick one, who would your biggest shock of movement be in this transfer window?
To be honest, it's kind of there's kind of like three that all link.
Okay.
For me, it's the whole Lani, Chloe,
Yeah.
Laura thing. Like, it just obviously we don't know what happens behind closed doors. Like, we just don't. We don't. The fact that Chloe Kelly's had to come out and make a statement and talk
Yeah.
about the club means that something did happen. Something's like, and I don't want to like.
Speculate.
Yeah, I don't want people to think something bad, but like, there's obviously a conversation. She's not getting the minutes. Players want to play football. It happens. But to come out and make a statement about it means that either there's a lot of talk around her being the problem, or there's a lot of, and she's not the problem.
No,
Do
she's
you know what I
not.
mean? Like,
She's not at all.
there's
She
obviously
just
a lot of
wants
talk
minutes.
about her being like, oh, she's obviously fallen out with Gareth Taylor, but then to then come out of a statement is like, okay, obviously something is wrong. Whereas the whole Lani thing just went really quiet.
Yeah, I did not expect that. And obviously, you all know I'm a big, massive Alana Kennedy fan. I was heartbroken when she left. But for me, I think she is the biggest shock of the transfer window personally. The fact that she went so suddenly, like we knew it was going to happen at some point, but I genuinely thought it would be in the summer. I didn't think it'd be now. And then it's just kind of blown up and she's gone to America. And it wasn't something that we'd kind of foreseen, and then for somebody to come in and be announced the following day. Obviously, Carolyn is a big shock as well. I didn't think we'd be able to manage to sign her. There were rumours and whispers around kind of City about her coming, whether she wouldn't come in, because she's a Brazilian national player. She was
really good today.
outstanding for Brazil. She was good for us
She
today
was
as
really
well.
good
Yeah,
today,
she made
yeah.
her home debut today. But for Lani to leave and then her to come in and take that number 14 straight away was a massive shock, to be honest. But I do think there is something bigger going on at City. And as a City fan, I don't want to speculate and think that something bad is going on behind closed doors. But this doesn't all happen for no reason.
Yeah, and my main problem with it is that if if Lani was English, would the same thing as Chloe Kelly happen?
Possibly.
Would there be so much speculation around Lani that she'd have to put a statement out? I just wonder because
Well,
Chloe.
there was speculation about her, but
No,
it
but
just
there
wasn't
wasn't.
as big
Yeah, it's not
in
as
the
big.
media.
There was just like, where is Lani? But the whole thing with Chloe Kelly has been massive. So it's like, if she was English, would there be the same kind of thing? I don't. I think there would be. I think there would probably be a statement, and there would be a lot more people talking about it. But because she's a Matilda, it just goes under the radar.
Yeah, no, I agree with that actually, I do. And today we were really lucky, on a side note of Matilda's, where we sit tends to be, there's a lot of family that end up there. And Beth Mead came up with Steph Catley today, to obviously see Beth Mead's family. And just hearing Steph talk, I was like, Miss Lonnie! Like, it was really weird. But yeah, it's a bit mental. But Charlie, this is where your editing skills have to be really good because I don't think this will pick up on camera. But today at City, it was on Sky, so there was Jen Beattie and there was Steph Horton there, and I've been very unwell recently and I can't stand for long periods of time. So one of the girls that we've got to know really well through City, she said she was going to wait. And I'd said, oh, well, if you do meet her, like jokingly, will you get me a video of her? And on the way home from City, we received this.
Hi Kirsty, Jen Beattie here, that's all we've been told to say. See you soon.
Knows my name. Can we just, I wasn't there, but she knows my name, which is amazing. But while on about people we've met through doing women's football, I think it is time to do the giveaway draw. So for anybody who doesn't know, we are ambassadors for Football Here. We say it all the time, but it is something we're really proud of. We managed with them to do a giveaway for their brand new water bottle, which being released on Wednesday. And we said you had to be following us, following them on TikTok, and be subscribed to our YouTube channel. And we said the only way you could find out whether you'd won or not was on here. So we have done I don't get on very well with these, but we have done the spinny wheels. You can't really see it, so we've screen recorded it. I've done a spinny wheel, and we're going to tap it and see who it comes up with.
So,
One person will get it.
the winner of the giveaway is...
Isabel! Which makes life easier for us because it will be able to be dropped off at City. But well done, Isabel. Congratulations. We will get the bottles ordered and we will give you it at City. Just to clarify, it's all being screen recorded, so it has been done fairly, and Charlie will pop a clip up. But yeah, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more giveaways coming. We have just hit 2.7 today, haven't we? At the moment, we seem to be going up by about 100 every kind of couple of weeks, which is amazing. So thank you. You'll like this one. I feel like the aim of the podcast this week is just to discuss Arsenal.
It's right on my street.
Yeah, after you've beaten us today. But we got to see you today as well, so I feel this is even more relevant. On, was it Wednesday? Wednesday night when Arsenal played Bristol in their delayed FA Cup fixture, Amanda Ilstead returned to football after being out for over a year and only gave birth 4 months ago.
I
She
love
has
that woman.
returned back to the pitch. She looks incredible. Like, how?
I love that woman. I think she's incredible. I genuinely do. She's unreal.
She seems like such a nice person.
She's
as well,
lovely.
like,
She's such a lovely person, and
but
I
4
forgot
months
how
after having a
tall.
baby. Like,
I forgot how tall she was. She's
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
She's so tall.
We had this conversation, didn't we? Because we were like, the way you see players in person is completely different to how they look on TV, and you have these perceptions of whether they're like tall or small or what they look like.
I just forgot how tall she was, genuinely. But yeah, she's mint. She's amazing.
But
The
how
fact that
on
she's
earth-
back.
yeah. And like Katrina Gorey, when she had Harper, came back like instant. Like I feel like women footballers are just elite. Like
Of
how
course they are. They're elite performers.
how quick they can have a baby and then bounce back
Yeah.
and just go back to playing regular football is just mental.
Yeah.
At the same time as being a newborn baby mum.
And talking of bouncing back,
Oh,
we need
God,
Georgia
here we
Stanway
go.
to bounce back
Oh.
from this injury.
Yeah, so Georgia Stanway has torn her LCL and has had surgery, and it could mean, depending on her level, like the level of her tear, she could have 4 months off.
Yeah.
Or more. So it's like a minimum of 4 months. And we go to the Euros in just under 4 months.
The only positive that you can take from that is we've got Grace Clinton.
We have got Grace Clinton, but
It's
she's
the
not
only
Georgia
positive.
Stanway.
It's
She's
the
not
only
got that
positive.
experience.
It's the only positive that I've
Mm.
got. Like Kira Walsh, Georgia Stanway have been a staple in English football for a long time now. Like they're pretty much irreplaceable. They're the two players that you can't change. The only positive there is that Grace Clinton will now play where Georgia Stanway plays. That is it.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
And to be fair, Georgia Stanway's obviously done her LCL, and then this week it was announced that there's another player who's done their ACL. Poor Everton. Like at this point, Everton have got so many players who are injured, particularly with ACL injuries. Meg Finnegan did hers the other day as well, which is just not great. There's a lot of injuries, and it's just not ideal in the world of football. But final note from us today. I feel like this has been a very quick podcast. Very quick.
I mean, it's nearly 25 minutes.
Well, yeah, it's not that quick then. But it might still be a sore subject, but we did say we would discuss it.
Yeah.
So Charlie's team, for anybody who doesn't know, Charlie is a Bradford under-16s girls coach, and they had reached the semi-final of the County Cup, which they played yesterday. And how did it go?
Yeah, we're out the cup, unfortunately. Yeah, we lost 3-1 to a very good team.
Yeah,
I think I think they've only lost one game in their season this season. So yeah, really good team. We played at a different place. We struggled. And it is what it is. But at the end of the day, like all the coaches and myself said to the girls, like they've improved so much from the start of the
really
season. So
have.
that's the positive to take from that, really. But yeah, and talking about cups, there's we've got games coming up this week. So by the time we get to the next podcast, we'll have a lot of results to talk about. So on Wednesday, You've got
God.
the Women's League Cup. Chelsea play West Ham.
Oh, I wonder who's gonna win that one.
You got-
Sorry, West Ham fans.
Then on Thursday, you've got obviously the Charlie Kirsty derby again. You've got Arsenal City at Arsenal. Yeah.
Do you know what I am gonna say about that though? Is right. We played United in the WSL and lost. We then played them in the cup and won. We've lost to Arsenal today, so
Oh, you'll win.
hopefully that trend continues
Yeah.
and we win.
It's what happens. It's what happens. It happens all the time.
Big hat trick, anyone?
Saturday's then the Women's FA Cup, which is Villa Brighton and Manchester United versus Wolves.
At Wolves. That could be a fun one.
And then on the day that this next podcast will come out, we've got a lot of fixtures. We've
Yeah, we
got Rugby
have.
Borough versus Liverpool. We've got Palace versus Newcastle. Arsenal versus London City Lionesses again in the FA
But
Cup.
no Rouge.
Man City versus Leicester, which hopefully we'll be at.
Hopefully we will be there.
Portsmouth, Sunderland, and then Chelsea, Everton. So a lot of football to talk about. So make sure you're subscribed if you are not already, so you can catch up on the next episode. If you want to watch and listen to just audio only, make sure you follow us on Spotify, give us a rating, and make sure you are following us on all socials, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, whatever they call it these days. But yeah, we will see you in the next one. See you next week on Sunday or Monday, whenever this comes out. And take care, guys.
See you later.